that are here, and for what you have said, very, very important, good quality stuff. You just compare what you have heard today with the Variabambi. When they're having a discussion, then as Zambians, you can already tell the difference that need to be allowed to help this country out of its difficulties, man-made difficulties, I must say. But just a little addition to what my colleagues have said, very briefly, to thank on the first subject, to thank our presidents, two colleagues that we know very well, freedom fighters, very, very appreciative of their decision. Their decision, Mr. Musoni, President Musoni, President Mwanza, to be on the right side of history, the side of the people, and clearly deciding so. Such a decision must be commended by all of us Zambians. All of us, without exception, except a few that are damaging the country every single day at the expense of the millions that are going to bed without food. So thank you, colleagues and chair of the Alliance. Thank you for carrying that subject quite well. And only to say that others are welcome. I think that's an obvious statement. Others are welcome because this is a defining moment for this country. On the left is the PF, it's the bad, it's the corrupt. Everything. On the right is the people of Zambia, it's this alliance, it's the bona fide churches, it is everybody. So, since there's no middle ground, no middle position, we ask others that are indecisive, that are still undecided, to be on the side of the people. Yes. That's how it was in the early 60s. The colonialists were on the left, oppressing us. On the right, the people of Zambia came together, all of them. Even when they tried to divide themselves before the elections taught them something, that you can't work against the will of the people, and they had to come together. Very critical. Unity of purpose. That's what those two have demonstrated. 1991, we did it again. The wrong side was the one-party state. Not that we hated the old man Kaunda. No. The system did not serve the people of Zambia. And on the right side was the people, again, who decided to give themselves a multi-party system, a return to a multi-party system. 2001, the anti-third term, was talked about. Another rallying point. I think a lot has been said about it. Zambians came together. This time round is yet another time, is one such line in the history that we need to come together for the greater good of the people, not for a small number of people, the greater numbers of people, the millions, for whom we all seek public office. All of us, genuinely seeking public office to better the lives of the people of Zambia. Nothing else. That's why it's that decision by President Musoni, President Mwanza, together with these presidents that are seated here, and more importantly, the people that support us collectively. And I want to encourage the people that support those two presidents, that support us here, to drift, to be on the side of the people, the right side of history. So thank you, my dear elder brothers. We want family. Some people, a small number of people, are trying to divide us. But it's good that we are saying no. We are making a decision that one woman made in the Bible. There was a contestation. One woman claimed a child, that it was hers. Another one claimed the same child. An arbiter of the king brought the two women together and the child. So the king said, what should we do with this child? One woman said, let's share the child. Let's cut it in the middle. I will have my piece. She will have her piece. So the king listened. I see. Right. Cutting means killing. Said, yeah. So we can share equally. The other woman said, I disagree with that decision. This is my child. I want my child to live because that's my child. King, give this child to this woman so that my child does not die. The king was clear who was the owner of that child. It was that woman who didn't want the child to be killed. We as the people of Zambia do not want our child called Zambia to be killed by a small number of people. We applaud those two and the presidents that are here, 8 of them, making us 10 now. Please, those who are undecided, amtahe, Wilani, Iseni, Kamwizakono. So we can save this child called Zambia. Happens to be our child, happens to be our mother, happens to be our father as well. Zambia. Beautiful country. But it's being destroyed by greedy people. We have no idea what it is to run a country for the greater good, but for themselves only. Chairman of the Alliance, co-chair, I thought I needed to reinforce your good message on that. On the police visitation, I don't have much to say other than agreeing with what my colleagues have said. Co-chair Mwansa, you delivered your message very well, as the co-chair Milupi did on the first subject. I just wanted to remind the people, or to indicate to those that were not there this morning, that we have taken a decision to give the police a benefit of doubt because of the cordiality that graced this morning's meeting. And we're waiting for the decision, not to stop us, but to facilitate our campaigns. Please, let's understand each other. Not to stop us from the campaigns, but for the police to facilitate, to prevent those who attack us in the campaign from attacking us. There's a difference between the two. We reminded the police that based on the Christine Mulundika ruling in the Supreme Court, we do not need a permit from the police to campaign. It's our constitutional right, fundamental human rights. More so during the campaign period. So please, the people of Zambia out there, we do not need the permission of the police. What we need is the police to facilitate, to protect us from the thugs, the PF thugs that are attacking us. What happened on Wednesday is that they walked straight into our procession, blocked us. The police tried to stop them. They attacked the police. Who attacks the police who are doing the right job? Only under the PF government. Never have we seen such a situation in this country before. So we have asked the police to facilitate our campaigns because they cannot stop the other people. Baria bambi. Bajawenang. Bamwi. Mbutu higabotu. They can't stop them. We asked them a question. Can you stop what you are asking us to do to stop the road shows? Will you ask the others? Of course, they couldn't. And they can't stop the others from doing it. And they are doing it. We gave examples. So essentially, the police promised today, before the close of day, that they will come to us to indicate how they will facilitate. President Mutati gave an example of yesterday that yesterday the police facilitated. They nearly stopped us, but they facilitated. So President Mutati, in the meeting this morning, gave an example. Do as police what you did yesterday. But I still reminded the meeting that while we were in Munali, we were meant to go to Matero after Munali. And the PF thugs went to Matero to attack our people. But no one is arrested. I think that meeting was cordial, polite, but firm. So we're waiting for the feedback. But one message that we gave, President Mwansa, if you allow me, and President Milopi, we gave a message that this year's election is special because Zambians have suffered enough. Zambians are hungry. They are also angry. They want change. And that is not a decision of the police to stop the change when Zambians have decided. It's clearly a decision of the people of Zambia, not the police. We reminded the police what happened in Malawi, where the police tried to stop the change movement. We all know what happened. Change happened because other institutions stood on the side of the people. I think the police are aware of that. So we said to the police, the decision to change government is that of the people of Zambia, not the police who work for the people of Zambia. And that this year the people have decided to change, the police must facilitate the handover and not stand in the way. I think they understood the message. And we were emphatic that change is coming. Yes. It's here. Look at that tree there, those trees. You read there, you can see it's written change there. You can see it. On the walls it's written. So we asked our police to act in unison with the desires of the people of Zambia. Lastly, Mr. Chairman of the meeting, just to tag on what my brother here, KBF, has said. I'm not answering the question why his initials are KBF, but what KBF has said, very well said, that we saw the manipulation of our laws. We saw it coming. 2016, that amendment of the Constitution was to manipulate our laws. We saw the attempt to manipulate our laws, our Constitution, under Bill 10. We saw it. We saw it coming. We knew what the intention was to create, to confer someone a third term. Yes, the Constitutional Court has pronounced itself. I want to agree with you, my brother, to thank John Sangwa, the gallant John Sangwa and his team, for doing what most Zambians are scared of doing. But also to thank the professors, our own professors, Chaloka Beani, Dr. Mbao, Prof. Lumina. Lumina was in the same shoot with the two of us at university, in case you're not aware. Yeah, he was PF, but we have had a long history, even as children at UNZA. God works wonders. Today we are together. We want to thank those for providing a legal opinion, which was supposed to have been used by the Constitutional Court as being from friends of the court. Capable Zambians. But more so, I want to thank actually the people of Zambia for being patient and being given an opportunity to make their ultimate decision on the 12th of August, as my colleague has said. That's not a celebration. That's it. And I want to commit to the people of Zambia, when this alliance forms government, God's will, courtesy of the people of Zambia, which will happen, one of the things we have to do, for many reasons, including one, stopping the wastage of resources on by-elections all the time, and now, reinforced by this court ruling, we have to amend the Constitution so that no one, and no one again, will be allowed to serve more than 10 years in the presidency.
Yes.
So we commit to you, the people of Zambia. Somebody thinks that they've scored. No. I think they've scored their own goal. Led by the church mother bodies, genuine church mother bodies, it's a duty of ours to remove any lacunas. You lawyers, there are many of you here. Such that no one will do what the people decided against. I must actually go back to the Chona Commission.
Chona, yes.
To the Chona Commission. Way back. Under the one-party state. Which talked about term limits. To the Mwanakatwe Commission. People spoke, as my colleague has said. The Mungomba Commission, the Mvunga Commission, and the NCC.
Oh, yes.
And the NCC, under the late Mwanawas. We will reinforce that because that's what Zambians want. 10 years, I must tell you, colleagues, with your support, which I thank you for, when we form government, with our vision together, ingenuity, credibility, consistency, management capability to monitor, control, and change things. HH does not need 10 years, more than 10 years. 10 years is more than enough to set a direction so that someone else continues and I can go and look after cattle. We should not be afraid of leaving office because we had something we were doing before seeking public office. After public office, we should go back to those things and leave the country to continue and not to destroy the country. This gentleman is working towards destroying this country. That baby, we should not allow him. And I'm glad that we have now another campaign platform. I can tell you many PF members, we talked to them, actually thought that this man would be disqualified.
Yes, exactly.
Now they are also angry, and you too in PF who are angry, you are welcome to join this alliance. Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Chairman, I just thought that if we miss these aspects, maybe the media may not get a message from one angle. I think through the media they have the message from this additional angle, right from President Milupi, added on to President Mwansa, President KBF, just a little addition. We love this country. Yeah. We should protect it. I want to appeal to the people of Zambia. Will you love this country the way we do, the way I do, the way we do? You should be part of the team that protects this country from scavengers, from... I will not say more, because I will be accused. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this point, we are free, members of the press, to ask questions if you have any, and you can direct them to any of the leaders at the high table. Any questions?
No questions.
Yeah.
Here and straightforward. There's a hand there. Just state your name and which media organization you're coming from.
My name is Daria from Diamond TV. I just have one question for Mr. Shodia. I want a legal opinion, your legal opinion on the same question of judgment that you saw yesterday. We know for a fact that it's not all the questions that declared the President Edgar Lungu able to contest the August 4th. There's one dissenting view from Professor Margaret Munalina. I'd like to get your comment, especially that there may be, critics maybe criticizing our opinion over this matter, because already we have seen the Attorney General is warning that he may be worried that the dissenting view coming from Professor Margaret.
Chairman, thank you, comrade from the Diamond TV. Judges are allowed to make their judgments individually, and dissenting opinions of judges must be respected by any well-meaning lawyer, let alone a leader of the bar, such as my young brother, the Attorney General, Hakainde Hichilema. I would urge him to just wait for the reasoning of the professor judge. Because for me, we all are desirous of learning. And this is how we improve our jurisprudence as lawyers. Sometimes a dissenting opinion in the future becomes the law. So you must be very careful when you criticize. So one must let that particular judge express her views. What most legal minds will be waiting for is what we term in law as the rationale, decidendi, the reasoning behind the decision. So let that judge give her dissenting view. It is always right in a democratic dispensation to allow even the judiciary to differ. Even the reasoning of each judge may not be the same, but they may arrive at the same decision. In the history of this country, you will recall, if you remember, Justice Bonaventure Weupe, he used to dissent, even in the Kaunda era. When it came to the powers of arrest, the preservation of public security, he was always saying, no, we can't be using this authority. Those dissenting views eventually became the law, because those arrests were now termed illegal and unconstitutional. So I would caution those that are against this particular judge and encourage this justice to be independent. In fact, the independence of the judiciary should not be attacked, especially from the bar. And more so that the Attorney General is the leader of our bar. He should be very slow to comment on the powers of a judge, to speak and give out her views on what she thinks. Now, in history, we've also seen that even in the American history, some decisions, very prominent decisions, Roe versus Wade, for instance, it's an abortion issue. It was not a unanimous decision. It was a split decision. But by majority, the majority ruled. And that became the law. But the dissenting views are always listened to. The Brown versus the Educational Board decision, where there was discrimination in who goes to which school and the color bar in America. Again, that decision wasn't a unanimous decision. So dissenting judgments don't begin now. No, they've always been there in history. If you go to famous judges like Lord Denning, he was always a dissenting opinion in certain decisions. But when he was in the House, the Court of Appeal, but when it went to the House of Lords, his opinion was usually upheld by the House of Lords, by the majority. So we should allow this reasoning. It's good for jurisprudence. We shouldn't thwart the thinking of people. And this is one thing that I find with most of our people in government today. They forget that time to lead in government comes to an end as a president of the country. Tomorrow you'll be on the other side. And you may receive judgments, and then what are you going to say if there's a dissenting opinion which you agree with? There must be freedom to express that dissenting opinion. And we must respect that decision. Thank you very much.
But Chair, maybe just to add a little bit there. It's important for Zambians to know that in the minds of many, millions of us Zambians and others, Professor Munarula is a hero. Yes, that's all I wanted to say. Yes. Professor Munarula is a hero. I remember during our presidential campaign in 2016, 2 judges dissented. in the petition, presidential petition, one of those judges was Professor Mnaruni, and she was right. So it's good news to know that a good brain doesn't have to follow anything else. She's a good brain, she's a hero. Thank you.
Yeah. Finally, just for those of you who can count, I'm sure you can see that we are now in full bench. Some that has joined us. We did apologize that we come slightly late.
Today is Sabbath, eh?
Okay, we have come to the close of our briefing. I'll ask Jerome to give us